Hey guys, Matt here from Sales Sniper. Super excited to have you guys here today. And today, what I'm going to talk about is how to get more sales without actually having to get any better at sales whatsoever. There's three things that are really like super low hanging fruit on how to increase your sales today, right now, no dramas, like without having to put in crazy amounts of work, getting sales coaches, sales trainers. There are things that you can actually do to just get more sales in the door without having to become a sales gun, right? The three main things that affect your sales are one, the noises that come out of your face, right? So the words that you say, how you say things, all that kind of stuff, right? The second thing is the process. So like from the time that somebody hears about you and they try to book in a call, what happens? Do you know what I mean? And like, is that person being nurtured correctly? Are they being sent stuff? There's a whole bunch of things there, right? And the third thing is actually the marketing. Okay. So strong marketing makes for easy sales. That's just the way it is, right? So we'll go back to the first one. The first one is like the words, the noises that come out of your mouth, right? So the easiest thing that you can do is just get a script that's proven and then learn it. Okay. So like you can get scripts, you can hire a script writer, okay, like myself, someone to come in and actually just kind of like have a look at your offer and then like write you a script instead of you having to take the time to listen back to all your calls, create a script. There's a lot of things there that can make it just, it's a really difficult thing to have to get better and better and better. So hire someone to just do it for you, or get a sales script from a course or whatever, something you've done, and just adapt it to what you're doing and be consistent and learn it really well. And then go back, listen to your calls and then do that. But the first thing you can do is just get a script, right? And then learn it and role play it. Okay, super simple thing to do, because if the words that you say are just more efficient and you're not just kind of freeballing it everywhere you go, and just having random conversations hoping to end in a sale, like first things first, get a script. Even if you make it yourself, at least you have an element of consistency that you can now control. Okay. The second thing is the process. Okay. So the process that you take people through, like you just have to think it out. Right. And that's why this doesn't require skill, just like getting a script doesn't require skill. Being really good at delivering it does, but getting a script is something you can do quickly, right? Or if you do have a script but you're not using it, start using it, be consistent, right? But the process is like, you know, track all those points that people actually come into you and like track where they leave, you know? So let's say you do a 2-call close, right? So you have like a 20-minute and a 30-minute. You're selling a $10,000 or $30,000 program, whatever it may be, right? And a whole bunch of people come into that process and then they book in a first one and you have a terrible show-up rate for your first one. Then you book them a second one. You have a great show-up rate for the second one. What are you doing in between here and there? And what are you doing before they get onto the call? Make sure that whole process makes sense. Make sure you've mapped it out. Make sure you have all the phases actually like written down somewhere and you can see where people are falling out. So instead of trying to redo the whole thing, you can see where the highest percentage of people are falling out through one particular phase, and then just fix that one phase. Just work on that, right? I'll give you an example from a couple of years ago when I was working with a high-end business coaching guy, and we wanted to get 10 more sales a month without increasing any ad spend, right? Because then as you increase more leads, like every single problem is exacerbated down the stream. So what we wanted to do is we analyzed the whole sales process. Then we saw that the show up rate to the discovery call, that little 15-minute call, it's like right in the beginning, was just really low. It was like 40%. And so, but then the qualification rate from them was quite high. So the sales we were getting, but all that time, that those 60% of people that weren't turning up, that time was still in somebody's diary. So it's costing time, it's costing money, it's costing resources. So what we did is we just, out of all the metrics that we saw, that was the one that we knew if we could increase that from 40% show up to 60% show up, we'd have a lot more opportunity. And then we could get the 10 extra sales without really having to spend any more money. Obviously, you have to spend more on commissions, but the profit on that is way higher because we're not having to then drop money at the top of the funnel to have it all saturate through. Right? So understand your process, map it out. That is a low hanging fruit way to get more sales tomorrow, and really understand, like, are you just having the languaging wrong? Are you putting people off? Is your reminder sequences broken? Is there too many reminders, not enough reminders? Really think about that stuff, because that's going to affect your show up rates and you have to get more opportunities. right? More opportunities is a way to get more sales, right? Get more people to turn up, right? Then we got your marketing, okay? So your marketing, strong marketing makes for easy sales. Flat out, no questions asked. The better your marketing is, the more sales you will get. That is a true. Now, in terms of like having to judge that quickly, I like to rate leads, okay, on like a 1 to 5 system, which I can do a whole video on how to rate leads and how you do that like unemotionally. It can be quite a difficult task because a lot of people just want to rate all the leads they don't sell as crap, but you can have some real concrete metrics in that. But then making sure that one, you are actually targeting your niche effectively, the messaging all lines up with, and the language use all lines up across the entire process, and just make sure that like you know exactly who you want to get through that process, and you have like your disqualification methods at the top and then your qualification methods. So it wants to kind of be like this, right? You disqualify through, you get people in, you disqualify, right? Because you don't want to be speaking to people who aren't in your niche, and then you qualify up. Okay, like as you take them through a sales process, and making sure that your no-show rates are really good, making sure that people are actually turning up to calls and getting more opportunities is a great way to do it. So those are the 3 things that you can do right now. Step 1, get a script, or at least have some consistency in the words that you say, because then you'll actually have something to judge off, and you'll be able to create a system that works moving forward. Get the process correct. Have a look at the low-hanging fruit. Make sure people are going through something that makes sense. You're providing value through the process, and then look at your marketing. Make sure your niche and your messaging is correct so that you're talking to the right people. All right, guys. So that is the things that you can do right now to get more sales without actually having to get better at sales. If you guys want to check out more content like this, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also turn on the notification bells. I'm going to be doing weekly videos now. This is a fairly new channel, so make sure you give it the support that you want. Also check out my podcast, which is Coffee is for Closers, available everywhere podcasts are available. And you can also check us out on www.salesniper.net. All right, guys, hope this was good, valuable content. Let me know in the comments down below what more content you want me to do. But like I said, going to be doing weekly videos from here on moving forward. Got a lot of other good ideas, but would love some more. All right, guys, bye.